You are now listening to another episode of the Chanel and Alan Chit Chat Podcast with your hosts, Chanel Marshall and Alan Byrne.
Hey.
Hi.
How's your eyeball?
It's annoying because when you get that white, it's like fluff, but you can't really see it, if that makes sense. Like you normally get it off of like a quilt or just those little floaty things are in the air. But I can see it, but I can't get it. It's still in there.
So you can see it like from the eye it's in, or you can see it in the mirror. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, in the mirror, but it's like trying to manage, because my nails are really short as well. Just like trying to manage to like get it to the end to put it out.
Yeah, that's very, very annoying. Well, which eye is it? Is your left eye or your right eye? Left eye. Cool. I think I did that right, didn't I? Or left, rather.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my left eye is also driving me crazy, so I'm not wearing my contact lenses again. I'm hoping this isn't going to be a permanent fucking thing now. Going around with.
You're just trying to look educated, eh?
Yeah, that's the geeky look is hot, that's women love dweebs and dorks and geeks and dingbats. That's what they're into these days, so I'm trying to lean into that,
I didn't get that memo, but okay.
Well, yeah, actually, I think that's because they were about 10 years ago and they're not anymore. I think that's why. I tend to be about 5 to 10 years behind the curve in terms of modern trends. So you might think that that the intellectual look isn't attractive now, but 5 years from now, when I have like a mohawk and I'm wearing cut off jean shorts, this look will be in, but I'll have moved on once again, pushing the boundaries of fashion further than they should be pushed.
Okay.
Oh, it's Friday. It's Friday. It is Friday.
It doesn't feel like Friday. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. For some reason, it feels like today's Saturday.
Interesting. See, I feel like today is Friday because I feel like, even though I've been doing nothing really, I feel like I need a break. Okay, I've been doing a lot, which I haven't been, but I feel like I have been. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is
about how you feel. That's the main thing. It's all that matters.
I like that. See, this is the kind of friend support that leads to people being sociopaths. Whatever you say is right. I support you. You should have stabbed him. He deserved it. I support you. You're like fucking like,
As long as you feel that was the right decision
to do.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good policy to follow, or that's a nice supportive policy to follow if your friends are balanced people. But if they are in fact lunatics, boop, boop, boop. Now,
okay, so I will not support you anymore then.
Yes, well, this. I basically just talked my way out of being supported, didn't I? Oh dear.
Just a little bit, just a tad.
I did, but you are, Chanel. Well, I wasn't say you are supportive. You are, but I was going to say today, Chanel, that I wanted to say that I think I was. You know what it was? I'm not going to name names because I get in trouble here. But you're a very positive influence, Chanel. I think whenever I talk to you about whether it's about necrophilia, whether it's about fucking old people, whether it's about any of the many subjects that we cover on the podcast and elsewhere, a normal conversation, it always cheers me up. I recently had a conversation, I'm not going to say who it was, with one of my other friends, and I wanted to jump out of a window afterwards. You know what I mean? Because they were radiating so much negativity. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
One of those bloody energy suckers, and you're just like, I came on here being so positive. Well, not even just the fact that you have to be so positive.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
But in the conversation, being okay. And now I feel like I want to ram my face into a wall because that's what you've done to me. Yeah, I don't like this.
When you try, you sort of throw, like, you're like, yeah, this is really, they're like, this is depressing and that's depressing. You're like, yeah, well, hey, let's take the conversation in this direction. So have you heard of this? There's a new tiger in the Amazon. They're like, yeah, well, there's another way that's depressing that you haven't even thought of. You're just like, stop. They just keep like
Every time you do that, just dragging you back. Get over here. Come into my depression and all my negative state.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's where I get into my coaching mode, and I'm just like, I need to now set boundaries because I'm not going to allow you to come in and take a shit on my space. Like, my mental space was absolutely fine. You're not going to wipe your ass across my mental space. I'm not allowing it. Because I should not get off the phone call feeling like shit. And then I'm left to deal with my shit. And then you've probably gone and got someone else and you've probably continued on your negative vomit elsewhere. And it's now I'm left like, now I've got to get myself out of this. Thanks for nothing. No, you start getting negative with me. Unless I can actually help you, then I need to end the conversation because I'm not. What's the point of you just spewing negativity and then what? There's nothing that we can do about it. You leave the phone still feeling negative, amped up to go call someone else.
Going through your Rolodex and negative friends to fucking depress as well, you know?
Exactly. It's like, no,
oh my
boundaries.
It is.
Get out of my space.
But do you think now you're there you go, I'm gonna get a bit of free coaching out of you now. I'm gonna fucking shake about £3.12 out of you worth of coaching advice here, Chanel. Do you think at what point, how much arse dragging do you try to steer in a different direction? My metaphor is getting a bit mixed now. I've got a dog and I'm like, no, drag your shitty arse in this zigzag. Not that one.
Not on my carpet.
But yeah, not on my carpet, but the linoleum's fine. But can we, anyway, but what, like, how many, do you have like a golden rule? Like, I'm going to try and get you to think more positively or get you on a positive track like 3 times. And like, once I hit 3 times, it's gone. Or is that just an intuition thing whereby, or are you just like, as soon as somebody's like, yeah, but there's a downside too, you're like, bitch, get out of my space. Just any negativity.
I used to be, I'll be honest, I used to be like, bitch, no.
Really?
But now I'm like, to the point of where, because I'm more self-aware, so instead of me just literally shutting you down and then sending you on your merry way, I'm more like now, I'm now more like, okay, well, let's try and resolve the actual deeper problem here, because no one is just a Debbie Downer just to be a Debbie Downer. There's always some underlying reason why you're being a Debbie Downer. So my aim would be to get to the cause of it. So we'll have a conversation. If it feels like every time I'm saying something, you're just hitting me with a brick wall and you don't want to solve it, then I gotta go now.
That's good though.
I need to go. So
but you go from, if you're getting that negative thing a few times, you're like, then you try to get to the underlying cause. If you can't get there, or if they don't want to go there, then you're like, okay, there's no way. Yeah, it's true. Because if I'm just trying to bring up other more positive shit or take the conversation in a different direction, that's never going to address the underlying whatever issue is. So that's not actually gonna. Very good. There we go. That was about. That was close to about £9 worth of free advice. I just scammed you out of there, you sucker. That's right. That's right. Now those skills are my skills.
I always give you a freebie. You try come back again and do this shit next week, motherfucker. I'm sending you an invoice.
Just after the call, just like an email.
Yeah, I'll be like, there you go, Ellen. You'll be like, what the hell? I'll be like, well, I warned you.
That's it. You see, you just need to send me like a bunch of terms and conditions. You're just like, just click that, Alan. Click that beforehand. I've signed up to your fucking 16 weeks tutoring program, and there's no backing out of it. And I signed up to. There was one of these things. I did this before as well. It was like the magazine, The Economist, and you could get 12 copies of The Economist for like, what, a $5 or something. I was like, I might read an article out of that from time to time. But sure, I got one every week for 12 weeks. Didn't read any of them because I'm a fucking slob who thinks I read more than I do. Like I probably read like 2 articles out of fucking this. That's not like the stump of a tree's worth of paper that I just wasted. But then they make it impossible to unsubscribe. It's easy to subscribe. And I did the same thing with the New York Times. It was £1 for a year, maybe a year ago. Never looked at for the online subscription. And now if I want to unsubscribe, actually the Economist one wasn't too bad. I worked out how to do that. You just had to send an email. But the New York one, you have to like phone a number. Otherwise they keep sucking money out of your bank account. Like a lobster pot.
Yeah, I had that with, what was it? Oh, I cannot remember what it was, but it was like, I have to call this number. And I was just like, I didn't have to call a number to sign up. So why do I have to call a number to unsubscribe? Like, that's when I realized, I'm like, actually, no, this is the biggest con ever, because if I don't need to call up to subscribe, I shouldn't have to call up to unsubscribe. And you're basically doing it because you know a lot of people will be like, I don't want the hassle, or people don't like to say, I don't want to subscribe anymore, because people don't like, it's not even confrontation, but having that kind of dialogue with somebody.
Yeah. Or just time, thinking of being on hold for the next 10 minutes. Fuck it. You know, yeah.
It's not, but sometimes it's not even, I think it's not even time. It's just because some people don't like to be saying, I don't want that, because you know you're going to get that comeback of, oh, well, maybe we can make it lesser. Oh, maybe we can offer you this too. Maybe, and you're like, I don't want to deal with this whole sales pitchy, trying to not let me go. You know, you're halfway 100%. Through the door and there's round your ankle going, no, come back. A lot of people just don't want that. And I, in the past, did not want that. So I literally would just be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not signing up anymore. No. If there's not a box that I can tick, say, bye, buggers.
It's £4 a month now, this New York Times thing, right? Which is not a lot of money, right? If I was using it at all, if I even read one article a month, I'd probably leave it go. But I'm just like, I don't really look at it. And but if £4, like that really is like, when the money is that low, are you going to call up? They know, you only do it out of spite, which is what I am going to do, out of spite.
Yeah, I did that for, that's what it was. It was bloody, well, there's people stop you in the street for these bloody charities, like, oh, feed a child for like 12 pence a day, blah, 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 blah. And it's like the same child on the freaking advert since fucking 1992. But yeah, that child hasn't grown up, still got flies on its face, it still needs feeding. Whatever, does these children not grow into adults? Anyway, you have to call up, you set up a direct debit with these motherfuckers on the street.
Yes. Easy peasy.
And then, right, exactly. And then you have to call them to cancel. And I remember calling and cancelling, and they were kind of like, oh, well, maybe we can do this, or maybe we can put a freeze on it. But I was like, no, I don't want. And I had to say, I was like, okay, I had to think of my lies beforehand. And I was like, I've lost my job, I have no money.
Yeah. You got to have the reasons in your head that you're ready to go. Like, bust them out.
As it kept going on, I was like, no, I've lost my job, I have no money. Like, I have nothing coming in. I just physically can't do it. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, if things change and you want to come back, it's so small. I was like, oh, fuck off. Hold on. If that is true, I lost my job, I have no money. The last thing when I do get money, I'm going to be like, oh, I can give to Christian Aid. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, oh my God, I've been waiting for my job. Oh, but like for so long, I've been like 6 months without a job. Oh my God. But now I can call Christian Aid. I can call them, and I can give again. Oh, now I'm right with the Lord. Fuck off. Like, it's so ridiculous. But now when I see these people, these freaking people with their charity shit, I literally turn and say to them, I've already got a direct debit.
Yeah.
They fuck off then.
Yeah, for
what
sure.
else were you going to try to get me to?
Yeah.
I already give. I already give to that charity already, so I'm already signed up.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's mad, man. But they basically, when you're on the phone, particularly if it's a charity, like it's just, even if it's some other bullshit, like any kind of contract, they make you feel almost guilty for trying to get out of it, or like, oh, don't worry, it's so easy to do it this way. But like, basically, if it's a charity, they more or less make you say, yeah, that's no problem, we'll unsubscribe you. If you just for the for our like records, we just need you to say, I'd like the orphans and the homeless children to starve to death. Yes. Could you just say that? Just say that, and then we'll let you off. That's all. That's all you need to do. Just say, so my well-being is me being able to eat McDonald's once a week is more important to me than a child dying of AIDS in the middle of the desert. Let's just say that, and we'll let you go. I know. They have to do what they have to do too. But like, it's
no, they don't. Because what is so annoying is if you look at these charities, these massive charities.
Oh, here we go.
Because I'm about to spit some real fucking truth. If you've got a freaking CEO of that freaking company that's taking home
yes.
hundreds of thousands a year, how the fuck are these kids still fucking starving?
I agree.
Like, you know when you see these adverts, the child's got a snotty nose, child's got flies on its fucking face. We still see Africa as this war-torn, starving country. So no one actually thinks that they have indoor plumbing. No one actually thinks that their places, it looks like absolutely luxurious. And they have shitty parts and they have great parts, like any fucking country.
It's a huge continent, man. Yeah.
Right. And you make us believe that there is literally just so many Babatundes dying for you to save them. Like,
I hear you.
Come on, can we get a new fucking narrative for this? Because it's ridiculous. And it shows this, with this whole quarantine and this COVID, whatever, it shows how charities, not all, I would say the smaller charities, they're not in that. They're actually doing for the people.
Sure, there are charities where the CEOs really, there's one in Ireland in particular where they literally make no money at all, and that's great. So it's not that they don't exist, but what percentage are there? That I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like, and then all of a sudden now it's, let's support this person because of COVID. Let's support that. What the fuck? No, you're like, what the fuck? You've only known about COVID for like 3 weeks and you guys have got a fucking charity already? Like, what the fuck? You're literally just like, hold on. We've been on lockdown for 4 weeks, okay? 3 weeks in and you're just like, okay, there's a charity. Oh, how? What? Yeah, I don't understand, and all of a sudden, like, it's a big problem already. How? I don't understand it. It's just, they're crooks, man.
Some of them are definitely crooks. I concur, Chanel. Some of them are definitely crooks. It's true. But see, maybe we should start doing some scamming. I love a good scam. Like you're saying 4 weeks, maybe that's a legit charity, but I'm saying we've been off for 4 weeks. Maybe we should have been putting together our own scam charity. Huh?
Well, not for me, thanks, because I don't want to be part of them. I don't want to be the same people that I'm like shaking my fist at. I don't want to become one of them. Like,
come on, Chanel, join Team Two-Face.
No. No, then I might as well go and join your fucking Debbie Downer friend, mate. No thanks, I'm alright.
True enough.
But no, thank you. I'm okay. But yeah, I think it's stupid.
Yeah, it's you got to watch out. I mean, I think charity. I have not. Some people are very anti-charity in general, and not. I think if you're going to give money to charity, you need to do your research, man. You need to see where your money is going. Which is what I do. Any of the charities that I generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, the smaller and more local they are, I find, I don't know, but I find that they tend to be more legit. Just because I think they have more accountability. Because like if they're getting money and then like nothing is appearing in the locale, like people kind of notice. You know? You got to do your homework on that, because otherwise you're just paying for someone else's fucking Mercedes Benz. And even if you're a charity, or even if you're fucking the New York Times or whatever the fuck it is, if it should be one way in, the same way out. If I got a phone up to come out, I should have the phone up to go in, and vice versa. Yep. It's like a fucking lobster pot. You go in, this is lovely going in there. Like, no, you're trapped, you know? Yeah. Fucking lobsters, man. That's very funny. Those stupid phone lines actually make me feel worse about lobsters than anything else. Those poor fuckers, they going in, this is great. We'll have a blast in here. This looks like this is the lobster disco. Look, Bill's in there. They're all, stop, stay away. Yeah, we'll be in a second. And then they're all trapped in there. Oh, man. Have you ever seen videos? So evil. You've seen videos of them like pulling up lobster pots, or like crab pots, or whatever they call them. Like, I don't know, I guess I'm just projecting, but I always just think that the main look on the lobster and the crab's face is just embarrassment. They just look embarrassed that they fell for this bullshit again. You know, that's what they look like. They just look like, oh man, this is so humiliating. You know, when they get, because they have their big claws, but like you pick them up by the butt and they can't do anything. And they're like, I can't believe I fell for this.
The things you watch. But then it's like, I would love to know, like, do they have that capacity to even think these things? Because like,
right, yeah,
because like even when you have like flies, and the window's open.
You and
The
flies.
window's open. Oh, you know me, I can't stand the buggers. And like, they're like my arch nemesis. The window's open. You could have like a massive gaping windows open and guarantee that fly will fly into the glass.
Into the corner of the glass. Boom, boom, boom.
Or it will, the door's open, the front door's open, go out. And it will just be like, get to the front door and be like, no, back into the house. Let me fly around in circles underneath the light. Because, oh yeah, this is it.
This is where the party is.
Yeah. And you're like, what? I love it. Why do they fly around? Like your lampshade and you're literally just like, dirt. Why do they do that?
Something with I don't know about flies. Like flies make less sense to me. Moths, I know that moths is because when they're out at night and they use the moon to navigate. So they literally fly towards the moon and that helps them know what direction they're going. So they're just like, Jesus, the moon is right there when they see a light. So it's just like their GPS. It's just basically like when you and me are going around in circles with our GPS. Like, no, I thought it was this way. No, it's that way. No, that's basically what they're doing. They're up there in the lampshade being like, I thought it was left. Oh no, the signal's broken. But
moths make sense. Okay, cool. But why
flies, I have no idea. No idea with the flies.
Flies are like the arseholes of insects.
There's not a lot of redeeming features about the flies. I'm sure they do something they're really, next to mosquitoes, they probably are the worst of all the insects. Because like mosquitoes do kill billions of people a year. Whereas flies mostly...
Mosquitoes are like a serial killer.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Flies are the arsehole of the insect world.
I see what you're saying.
Mosquitoes are like serial killers of the insect world.
Yeah.
And wasps are pricks, are just absolute pricks because they sting you because they fucking feel like
just
it.
They
and
feel
they know
like
they're not going to die.
Just like...
So they're like, yeah.
You're having a nice day.
Yeah.
But so hang on now. So, but just to go into this, you said the flies are arseholes, but wasps are pricks. So can you give me what's the difference between an arsehole and a prick, Chanel? You know, because I know there is. You know there is.
Well, the obvious.
Well, they go together, don't they?
I'm not even finished with my sentence. Fuck off, Ellen. I can't.
Come on, you gotta answer. You can't. I'm not talking about bum. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you knew when you made that what metaphor? Is that what it is? Description that there's like who would you consider to be an arsehole? You don't have to name names. Don't say me. Yeah, and who would you consider a prick? You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference? Because you just said a prick would go out of their way to fuck your shit up for fun. I think that is a prick. That's a wasp. But what's the arsehole doing? Are they just annoying?
I'm just not. You basically want to flush them. Whatever they produce, you want to flush it away.
They're not producing anything positive. They're just a waste of space and time. But they're not actively trying to be that. Maybe that's the difference. They're not actively trying to actually fuck your shit up. They're just the way they are.
I think they just don't get it. That they're like, they don't know they're an arsehole.
Yeah,
they don't. Yeah, they don't. They don't know they're an arsehole. They don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like a wasp knows.
Wasps know. I think you're absolutely right.
They know.
I think wasps fucking know. They know.
Flies, they haven't got a Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Nah. Flies
are, occasionally they probably get a sense that something's not quite right, but then they're just like, nah.
After the 10th time they've flown into the window pane, they're like, oh my God. Yeah, do they even have any memory, I wonder? Do they have memory?
I have no idea. If flies have memories. I know that, whatever, goldfish, they say is 3 or 4 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be ideal, really. God, this memory thing is doing nothing for me. Like, what am I,
Really?
I mean, what am I remembering?
Really? I wouldn't want to. So you wouldn't remember your family, what you did 3 seconds ago. How are you actually gonna make? How are you gonna make a meal? How are you gonna make anything if you don't remember after 3 or 4 seconds?
I know what you're saying, but
that's why they need to be fed, I assume. No.
Well, are you saying the only thing getting in the way of a goldfish being able to cook a 4-course meal or not is the fact that it can't remember? I think they also don't have any fucking hands. Or, you know
I mean that, like, they make a perfect pet because they get fed by whoever's taking care of them, and they're not like predators or whatever, because they wouldn't freaking remember shit. They'd be like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I was going after. Fuck.
They never hold a grudge.
Hungry. I was going after shit. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. So.
But it is they but I suppose really you're not going to have that same recognition you might get from you know me, I don't like pets anyway, but from, you know, a dog might recognize you, whereas a goldfish just every 3 seconds it's like, who the fuck's this, you know? They're not going to be very grateful,
like Dory in Finding Nemo.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You know? Just keep swimming. Well, we got, so flies are arseholes, wasps are. You've been stung by a wasp, I presume, have you?
Yeah.
I don't mean today, like, but well, maybe. Fucking, I don't know. Maybe it's right in your eye.
Twice actually. No, once was a bee, and it got trapped in my top, so it didn't sting me on purpose.
Yeah.
It was just like, what the fuck? I was like, how the fuck it got up my top? I have no idea. And flew out of my sleeve and stung me on the way out.
Okay. One for the road.
And then the wasp, I was in Jamaica and I felt something crawling on me. So I went like that.
Yeah.
Like that. And then as I've gone, its stinger was stuck in my finger.
Oh,
in my finger.
So many nerve endings right there. Like, that's probably the worst thing.
And then I literally was like shaking the shit out of my hands to get this fucker out. Yeah, it was horrible. So yeah.
Did someone on the beach just think you were bigging them up because you were like?
And it, pull it up.
Maybe that's the origin of this particular gesture, you know, the wasp sting of enthusiasm. That's it. The first time I got stung by a wasp, I was 18 or 19, and I was literally sitting on my chair. I was upstairs in my room. My brother came in. I don't know why we were talking about wasps, and I said to him, "I've never been stung by a wasp." And literally, as I said it, a wasp, but it must have gone into my shirt. I was wearing my school shirt and stung me in the back. Stung me in the back, and I was like, "What the fuck?" That was one of the few times in my life where I was like, man, there's a higher power or something, and I have fucking pissed it off. Because it was
powerful.
It was literally, as I said, I have never been stung. Like, exactly at that moment. Not like a minute later, half an hour, it stung me. Just ridiculous.
Oh my God, thinking about that, a wasp, and you said using your room. When my old house, we had wasp nests. They always just kept reappearing. So literally in the kitchen ceiling, it was like,
oh, they're so creepy looking too.
Like, you know, you have like the vent on the outside. So they'd actually come in and they'd actually made a wasp nest in the kitchen ceiling.
Oh fuck, man.
So no matter what, every single year we would get them. Like, literally they'd come out, blah blah blah.
Right.
And they even came back again. Yes, they actually pulled down the ceiling, they replastered everything like that, and you saw the big old nest, everything come out.
I thought you meant the wasp pulled down the ceiling. I was like, fucking hell, Chanel, you should have nipped this in the bud. Like, they're moving ceiling tiles like a big swarm of them, you know? They're redesigning the kitchen. Let's put that over there. We'll get a new extraction fan.
So then even though they'd done that, for some reason it's like they just liked obviously where the vent was and how obviously the space. Yeah. So my bedroom window was by the garden, so you had like the kitchen and the wall and the bedroom, like they kind of shared like a joining wall. And then you had the window, so it was sash windows. Yeah, so the wasps would make their nest on the outside, and then they would come through the holes of where the sash windows were and come into the house.
What is a sash window? What is that?
It's where it's like it's got the ropes, it's like little pulleys, so the windows go up. Yeah. So obviously then you have the little holes and they worm their way in or whatever.
Yeah, they can get through the
Okay,
little, yeah.
so we had an issue. So the lady up above us had, she had said, that she had seen a rat. Okay. Anyway.
Decoy.
So we ended up, because this is like evolution story. So then she said, she's seen a rat, blah, blah. And we had heard like the little, okay, so we're like, okay, cool. So I guess they're evolving as they get to the top. Okay. So we had seen mice and then, field mouse or mice or whatever. Anyway, so we got the traps, all that kind of stuff, done the wire wall, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So in my room, the wasps were coming in and I was like, okay, cool. So I can't stay in there because of the wasps. Right. So until we get that sorted, right, I will now leave and I moved my bedroom into the front room.
Okay.
Right, cool. So then we knew that we had the mice, right? Okay. So I now put like a towel, whatever it was, like down the bottom of the door to stop them basically like coming through. So every time I was like, Mum, I need to get close in my room, so you need to come with me. So there was a time that, because I obviously wasn't going to drag my wardrobe in. So like there was a time when I needed to get something out and I went in and I had a look and like there was all these wasps on the floor that had died. There was loads of wasps on the floor. They were dead. It was like a wasp burial ground, right?
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, shit.
So Mum wasn't around and I was like, okay, quickly ran in, got something, shut the door. Came back later on, went back in, looked on the floor, all the wasps were gone.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like...
That's some
okay,
horror movie
Mum,
shit.
Right, so I'm like, okay, Mum must have come in and she must have hoovered them up.
Right.
Okay, cool. So then now I see Mum and I'm like, oh, Mum, did you... So like, we just kept not crossing paths.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, then finally we did, and I was like, Mum, did you hoover the wasps up the other day? And she was like, no, I haven't been there. I don't go in there unless you need me to like watch your back while you go and get something.
That's great.
And I was like, oh my God. So the mice were in the room. They were hungry because they couldn't get out because we trapped them inside the room. They ate the fucking wasps, man.
You basically created like some kind of thunderdome of vermin fighting gladiators, the Colosseum style, fighting it out for fucking dominance, you know?
Oh my God, yeah, they actually...
Oh, Jesus
Circle of life,
Christ.
circle of life. The mice ate the wasps.
The mice ate the wasps. And then, so...
Yeah.
And then what did you do the thing like in The Simpsons where you're like, we had to get rid of the mice and we brought in the snakes and they ate the snakes ate the mice, but then that wasn't enough. So we brought in foxes,
No,
the foxes ate the snakes.
No, we literally just did we just moved. So yeah, we just
It's a lovely property. Your family is going to be really happy here. No, it's brilliant. You don't need to go into that room. Don't worry about that one. Why does it say Colosseum Thunderdome on the... Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Go around here. Have a look at this. You just fucking move some other fuckers into the vermin house.
Oh, if you hear squeaks and buzzing, don't worry. Don't worry about it. Just ignore it. No, but these people, they had dogs. So we did tell them obviously that there was a mice issue and that kind of thing. We've done whatever we've done to try and get rid of them.
Yeah.
But they had dogs, so it was like, well, you're gonna be fine because you've got dogs, so they'll catch them or whatever. But yeah, they were fine. They were happy with moving. So.
Basically, they did do what I said, which was like, they were like, no. Mice eat wasps, dogs eat mice, job done. I mean, like, that's pretty good. That's pretty... The wasp nest, though, if you ever see... You've seen them. Did you see it when they took it out? Like, it's so papery and weird. Oh, it's creepy, man.
How big it was like... Because obviously it was kind of like flat as well, because obviously it had to fit between the ceiling. But it was just like, what the fuck? Now we understand why they kept coming back every year, because they never fucking left.
Yeah, they were always just in there.
They were just making, they was like, oh, now we need a West Wing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's add on
building.
Let's add on to this property, shall we? Like, okay. But yeah, it was so horrible, because you'd think they're gone, and then obviously because the winter time, obviously they hibernate, whatever the fuck they do.
I think that's it.
And then all of a sudden you'd be laying in bed, and then all of a sudden you'd hear buzzing, and you're like, "Fuck, man, they're back!" Like we had a good time. We had a good time, and then now you're hearing buzzing, and you're like, "It's time."
It's crazy, man. Yeah, no, we found a big wasp nest down the back of like the garage we had out the back, because we used to always be. That wasn't in the house, luckily, where they picked. I think it must have been warm because it was near, we'd like a, what do you call it, like a gas heater thing outside. Natural gas, so I guess it was warm in the winter or something, so that's where they've been. But like as kids, there was always too many wasps and we were getting stung. Yeah, and then when we found the nest, it was fucking same thing, multi-story fucking palace, fucking swimming pool out the back, little wasps drinking pina coladas on little wasp floaty beds. You know, we must, the property market's been very good to us. You know, just floating around, little fuckers.
Hey, you have a glass of Pinot Grigio, yes? Okay, yeah. Why not?
We wanted to burn it, but my mom wouldn't let us. Probably just as well. We probably would have blown up the natural gas thing. She was like, "Mom, we wanted to put like fucking petrol, because you know, fucking teenage boys or whatever." We were like, "We'll burn it, it'd be great." A bunch of flaming wasps flying around and stinging you like. Probably not a good look. I think we just gassed it in. But it's amazing the way they make, after we I guess they must have poisoned it somehow. Like we had a look inside. It's mad, all the layers. It's like a sort of all these layers of it's paper, I think, essentially is what it is. They chew up bark and they like spit. They basically make a paper mache. It's so weird, you know, it's so alien looking or something.
Yeah, it's not cute.
No, it's not. There's nothing
But that
cute
house
about
is
the wasp.
interesting because like also we used to have like, before everyone used to be like, oh, big spiders, like it's a thing. Like there was big spiders there. I think it's kind of like telling us it's time to move down. So I will never forget, I was sitting at the computer and I heard like you would think, I thought it was a mouse or something.
Yeah.
That I could actually hear it. And I looked,
oh no,
it was a fucking spider. That's how big it was. The fact I could hear it.
That's not normal, man. You can't be hearing spiders unless you're in fucking Australia or something. That's crazy.
And I remember literally, I was like, you know, you're like, yeah.
Shudder, like yeah.
If I get up, it will disappear. So I need to scream bloody murder for my mother to come and help. So when she came in, she's finally come in now, and then she's going like, "Whoa, I'm like the spider." And then she was like, "Whoa!"
She spotted it like, yeah.
It was like one of the ones of like,
yeah.
Oh man, why do I have to be the parent right now? Because what the fuck?
That's crazy.
It was massive, and I remember like she almost used like a whole can of fly spray. She was like, I can't get close and kill that.
Yeah.
Like now we've got this big massive spider now that's covered in white foam.
Oh right.
Teeter-tottering.
Yeah.
Teeter-tottering around like,
the death throes. Yeah. And that's when it's its most scary, because you think it's going to make one last lunge at you. Like, gonna die in glory.
It's bigger.
You know,
it's bigger now because it's got like a big foam jacket on, and then finally she gets it with the trainer, because now obviously it's like so now she's got it put with the trainer, and she's like, yeah, I'll leave that for a bit and then I'll pick it. Yeah, then I'll pick it up, right? So my mum, she's mean. So now she uses my trainer, right, and she put it on top of the spider.
She just walked out.
Day comes,
you deal with it.
The next day comes, right? No, she's like, oh, she'll pick it up. So, all right, fine. So the next day comes now. My trainer's still in the same place that she put it on the spider. So I'm just like, come on, I want to wear my trainer. Like, I need you to move the spider. And I just thought, okay, she's forgotten about it. Then she left it again. She left it until I was like, finally, I was like, Mom, like, no, actually, no, I think I'm manned up. I was like, yeah, I look man up.
How old are you at this stage? 20, 24, 27?
I think I could have been. I do not know. I think I probably was. And then I was like, finally, I lifted up the trainer. She'd fucking got rid of it. She just put my trainer back in exactly the same spot to fucking freak me out and make me think that I couldn't wear my trainer. But yeah, she's mean.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious.
Mean. And she absolutely collapsed with laughter when I was like, you know, I didn't wear my trainer for about a week.
She was teaching you a lesson about bravery, about taking action. Maybe, I don't know. That's very funny. Have you seen there's that video, and I think it must be Australia, anything that's with animals that's crazy and out of control, and it's like they have like, there was a spider nest in the ceiling, and it's like the camera just the spiders on the wall, and you're like, fuck, that's a lot of spiders, and it pans up and the whole ceiling is like, it's like a sea of spiders. And then like so many of them, they like fall down in a big ball and they like scatter everywhere. Oh, dude!
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Terrifying.
I don't want to see that.
No, man.
My cousin sent me was it a picture? Was it either a picture or is a video? I think it was a few pictures actually of Australia in spider season, and literally it was like the park was covered in cobwebs. So you know, I normally like when it's really cold and it gets really frosty.
Right.
But literally, like it was like you think, oh, that's fog. No, it's freaking cobweb. It's literally cobwebs covering bushes and
that is
crazy. I was like, bitch, don't send me that shit. Don't send it. I don't live there. I don't need to know. I could have done without knowing about that. Like,
you know, you see,
things like that.
You see how big Australia is, and the population is so small relative to the size of it. And people are like, oh, well, it's because it's a desert and lots of it's not inhabitable. Fucking bullshit. It's just because nobody in their right mind wants to live in that fucking place. You gotta be like out of control to want to live in that fucking land of just chaos and mayhem. Everything there can kill you. You know, fucking even koala bears can kill you. You know that? They got like gonorrhea and shit. They got some like, is it gonorrhea or?
Yeah, chlamydia.
Chlamydia, that's it. Yeah, they just all have chlamydia.
Weird. It just makes me feel like, okay, so who slept with a koala?
I mean,
or were they licked by a koala? Like how?
I don't know which way around that goes. Yeah, you know, is chlamydia? Does that? You know, you never really think about animals getting STDs, but I guess they do. You know what I mean?
Do they get there? But is STDs like is that a human thing?
Well, that's what I mean. In that case, I was thinking, oh, like you said, we gave it to them or they gave it to us. Either way, someone's fucking a koala bear, which sounds like a bad idea. They're vicious little fucking rats. They look, they're cute. They're not cute at all, man. They tear your face off. Or your dick off. But I guess they have their own STDs too. You know, there's probably like fucking, I don't know, like fucking spider herpes or fucking, you know, whatever. Spider herpes sort of sounds like some kind of a really like B-list superhero or something, you know.
Like, oh, did you hear about that mosquito? He's got the clap. Like, no, I don't. Like, I don't know if they talk about those things. Do they talk about those things amongst the insect animal community? This comes
back to that idea of like, are they aware? I mean, listen, I think if you're banging your head off the window, you're probably not aware of the fact that maybe you might have picked up the clap off of Susan Fly. You know what I mean? I don't think your mind is going that far. You know, if you can't even like...
you would care. You wouldn't care because you eat shit. So you wouldn't give a shit.
And you live about a day. You live about a day as well. Don't flies only live for like 2 days or some shit?
No, isn't that fruit flies?
Yeah, they definitely only live for a couple of days. I don't know about
those. I can't stand those.
I know.
Fuckers. You know I can't.
I've heard your fruit fly rant many a time. They are particularly annoying. It's something about the way they fly.
And they're so like.
Here we go. Strap in,
they're
everyone.
Conniving. They're conniving.
They're conniving.
Because no, why I say that is because like you'll see one, you'll try and kill it, right? And you'll be looking everywhere for it. Because now, like, say for instance, on the window, you've tried to big newspaper, whatever, and you'll be looking, searching the whole fucking kitchen for it, and that fucker's sitting on the fucking cupboard door, looking at you like, motherfucker, still looking for me, are ya? Still looking for me?
That annoys me.
He's still looking for me? Like, yeah, I can't. And they're red as well. It just makes me feel gross. It's like flying blood. It's just horrible.
I hear you. Mosquitoes, I mean, when I was living in Malta with Michael, like that used to drive me demented because in the middle of the night, they fly into your ear for whatever reason. I guess it's because your ear is warmer than the rest of you and they're attracted to heat, right? Apparently, this is a theory. No, sorry, I'm wrong. It's something to do with carbon dioxide, right? So they're attracted to carbon dioxide because that's how they find animals to bite and kill. I don't know. They just fly into your ears. So you'd be asleep and you're like, oh, almost asleep, even though maybe it's too hot or whatever, fucking fan on. You know, it's a bit harder to sleep anyway if you're not used to it. And then as soon as you'd almost be asleep, they'd fucking fly into your ear. And then you fucking get up and like all the lights are on and like you're half asleep. So like you can't see properly. even if you put my glasses on. And then I would be like, for like half an hour, like trying to find it.
The fucker is
laughing at me, fucking laughing at me from the corner. Like I probably walked past him like 7 times, not seeing him, just laughing at me. Fuck mosquitoes, man. Mosquitoes can get fucked.
I had one, actually, I saw him. So I was in Jamaica and I felt something on my arm. So I went like that and I looked back.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw him drinking. Yeah, I saw him drinking and getting bigger and bigger and filling with my blood. And I literally was just like, smack, and then my blood was all over me. And
that's
like,
crazy.
That was just like, I saw like eye to eye, like drinking shit out of me.
Boom.
Like that was. Oh,
if you smack them when they're on your arm, obviously, like they've kind of gotten away with it that they had. You're like, I'm keeping my blood, even if it's just splattered on my t-shirt. Fuck you. You're not getting like. It's like they robbed the bank and they're in the getaway car, but you've caught them just as they're about to get away. Do you know what I mean? You're just like, they were almost, we're going to be millionaires.
No, but if you drank my blood and didn't make me scratch the fucking shit out of myself, I wouldn't care.
Basically, if they were better at their jobs.
Like you're basically leaving dirty shit behind and making me scratch for how long? My skin blistering, then leaving me with scars. Also, you got your rocks off and then you freaking flew off. Like, nah, don't like it. If you just bit me and you didn't leave any marks, any traces,
yeah, right.
do what you need to do.
You can imagine that evolution would have selected for a mosquito that is just like flosses and shit, that, you know, that doesn't leave an itchy reaction. Like, wouldn't that be better? Because like if you knew mosquitoes, if you knew it wasn't going to affect you, you wouldn't. I mean, like, okay, you probably would swallow it off, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, but you
wouldn't have
wouldn't
that venom. Fucking mosquitoes.
And it's only female mosquitoes that bite humans. Male.
Apparently so. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, apparently that's correct. Don't know what the gender politics of that is, huh? You know, women. You know what they're like. They bite you. They fly off. They act all
like,
innocent.
oh, really? Oh, okay, cool.
In your ear. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. You know what it's like. But yeah, mosquitoes are serial killers. They've got this new thing now. They think they might be able to. There's some new. They keep trying to genetically modify mosquitoes, so they basically self-destruct. They've come up with some brand new genetically modified mosquito now. They've been trying to do it for years. I think I don't know where they're trying it out. Was it Tanzania or somewhere? Anyway, basically, because somewhere with, don't know, maybe the malaria isn't a problem in Tanzania. Somewhere anyway, it's a big problem. They take these genetically modified mosquitoes that basically self-destruct, and then they like release them into the population. They like get it on with all the other mosquitoes. And then they're like, oh, that was great. And then like a day or two later, they all explode. It's hilarious. They literally like explode. It's just like, I love science, man. Sometimes scientists, you think they're just doing it for the laugh. You know what I mean? Like they probably could make them just like fall out of the sky, you know, but they're like, fuck it, let's make them blow up. Big gas.
Another thing I can't stand. Flying ants.
Yeah,
those are so dumb. They're so dumb.
They also,
you know, like some things just shouldn't be given. Exactly, they shouldn't have been given wings. Like it's just. But I don't remember flying ants when I was younger. Like before a certain age, I don't remember them. And I'm like, where did they come from? And I've tried to do research, and it still doesn't give me the answers that I'm looking for. Because I'm like, to my mom, like, do you remember flying ants when you was younger? And she was like, no. She doesn't remember them.
Do you think they're new? They're a modern phenomenon. There's
a sense of just
back in my day, there were no ants walked on 6 legs. None of this flying malarkey back in my day. And also, what's Twitter? That's a load of shite too. You know.
But I just don't remember if they were there. I don't remember them being like a big like how you get it now, where you know they will come up out of the ground and you know it's about to rain because it's normally when it's like the humidity is at the highest.
Yeah, that's when they do come out. You're right. Yeah.
And then
flying
so I'm just like, I don't remember them as much when I was younger and being such like a big problem.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess, I mean, maybe like any animals, you know, maybe they migrate to cities looking for jobs. I don't know. But but maybe they do, you know, move in a migrate or whatever you want to say. I'm trying to think. Yeah, definitely. I know it's very funny when you said that thing about raining. I couldn't, that struck a memory with ants as well, the flying ones. Yeah, it's funny. I used to like ants. So are flying ants just ants? Are they like the queen ones or something? Like all ants can't fly.
This is the thing.
Sounds like a Disney film.
Right?
All ants can fly.
But then, like, it's what I don't understand is because you have the tiny ants, well, the ants, the OG ants, the originals, like we know those ones, right? So we have those ants, but then sometimes you'll see like the bigger ones,
right?
But they don't have wings.
Yes.
And
only the small ones have wings, I think.
And then, but these big ones, and sometimes you do see the big ones, and the big ones do have wings because sometimes they're carrying each other and they're struggling. And I don't know.
That's their fucking. That's their fucking. If you see two of them together, that's because they're bumping ant malarkeys.
I can't stand them. And what I don't understand is like some people will be able to just walk down the street and not be bothered by these flying ants. Me, it's like how are you not getting these flying at your forehead or just flying in your face and you're just walking fine? How is this? What's happening? Like what?
But they definitely think with mosquitoes, like they definitely think that with mosquitoes, it is something to do with your like pheromones, your blood type, your whatever. Yeah. Like so, some people definitely get bothered more. So maybe it's the same with ants. Maybe some ants are just. But like the only thing with ants and flies, you don't feel like, no, I suppose sometimes flies, they want to drink your sweat, don't they? Yeah, flies, fucking flies. But with ants, it always feels accidental. Like they're, oh, Jesus! Like they, you know, they didn't mean to do it, but so maybe you're invisible to them. Maybe with other people, they dodge around you. But as far as they're concerned, they can't even see you. They crash into you. I hate it when
I don't know how I feel
flap.
like that they can't see me. That makes me feel a certain type of way. Like, am I not important? Or like, I don't know. And I don't understand why I feel like I want to be important or matter to a flying. And I don't know. That's so weird. That's something I need to work on.
I think it might be a personal issue if you're just, you know, if you're screaming at flying ants. Look at me! I'm a person! Okay? Just like, and as far as everyone else can see, you're just screaming at the street, like, because they can't see the fucking thing. Just shouting at a crack in the pavement. But see, I used to like, we had outside the back of our house, because we live in the countryside, right? We had like, there was like these, what do you call them? Hexagonal? Six-sided, yeah, hexagonal slabs, paving stones, or whatever they were, right? So they used to interlock together, just this one small part of the garden. Or where before you got to the washing line or so. Anyway, you don't need a schematic, sorry. So then you turn left at the gravel.
So your garden path or something, basically.
Yeah. I'm leading you up the garden path here. I don't know what that means. But the ants used to come out from in between them, and you'd see them like crawling along and going in like they'd like follow the grooves like it was a little road, you know? And I used to quite like that. I like watching ground ants do ant things. Like, I like it when you see a chain of them.
It's fascinating.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
But stay in your lane. Cookies. Stay on the ground. Fucking lands.
Stole cookies. It seems like I'm always in Jamaica, but we was there. We got into when we rented a room, me and my friend, and it's the first time we didn't stay in a hotel.
Oh.
So we would like a villa kind of place. So had this room, and we was like, oh, we got off the plane, and we still had like things like digestive biscuits or something in it that we'd had and we was eating on the plane. Didn't finish it. Didn't think nothing of it. Left it on the dressing table.
Yeah.
Went out to go and like seek food and that kind of thing. We came back and these ants had come all the way from outside, made their way under the door, up the dressing table, and were in the cookies. Like
amazing, isn't it?
Biscuits, whatever. And I was just like, how the hell did you like?
It's crazy. How do they know? Man?
Yeah, like what? How did they? Did it a smell? Is it like what is that? Because it was far away.
Because they always say like because then you can follow them back the line to, and it's miles away sometimes where they're. Yeah. But like, it's either they always say, oh, well, they have I don't know what they call them, like the fucking scout ants go out and looking, but like. the scout ants must be absolutely everywhere. You know what I mean? Like every time a fucking Jaffa cake is left unattended, there's a scout.
But then, if it's a scouting ant, right? We could have been out maybe an hour, maybe I say about an hour, because we didn't go far.
Yeah, but that means he he found it, he went all the way back,
and then it went all the way back. Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to think.
The lads.
How?
It's like, crazy.
The conga line.
Yeah.
It's like a conga line, and I'm just like, what the heck? How? It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Because like they must have like some sort of signal that they put out that only they can hear. Because no way did he find the cookies, go all the way back to the base camp, and then bring them all the way back. He must have been like, and they was all like, what cookies? Okay. Like,
it's crazy, man. I mean, it's impressive. That's the thing about ants, though. It's like when you see a line of them, like even if it's annoying, it is impressive. It's you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like other animals, like wasps or thing, you know, they're annoying. You just like fuck off, like it's not impressive. But with ants, you're just like, this is a civilization. It's like it's like finding that like miniature Aztecs have come in and like colonized your whole like nightstand where you left your cookie. It's amazing.
And they carry shit, and you see them carrying like a cricket or a cockroach or something, and they're just like, I think it's especially when they carry leaves as well. When they're carrying leaves, I think that is fascinating.
Just because they get it like upright, like it's crazy. Dude, it's like
they're so tiny as well.
It's amazing. So I mean, I never had an ant farm. I remember trying to have one. But what it was is my dad got it in America, and it was designed for American ants, which are bigger apparently than Irish or whatever European ants. So it didn't really work. I put some ants in it, but the ants were like, "This is a shit show. We can't do anything with this sand. This is," or they made tunnels, but you couldn't see them or something. So then I fucked them out. It was like, just go away. But I got tired of it. But yeah, I think ants. It would be cool to have an ant colony. But you know what'll happen, man? If I got a fucking, is that what you call them? Ant farm. If I got an ant farm here, like, I mean, how long, Chanel, before I knocked it over? Like, a day, a week? It'd be.
A week in itself is giving you way too much props.
Exactly. I would be pulling ants out of every fucking corner of the house and corner of myself for the next fucking 9 months until I fucking.
You just have to move. You just have to move like I did.
Have to do what you did. It's lovely. You love it. Come in. Just don't leave any digestive biscuits down. That's the only rule. Don't put anything. That's crazy.
You may find your whole biscuit packet moving to the door, like.
Dude, just
in case,
So impressive. I think one thing they do, it still doesn't fully explain it though, but I know that they have like I don't know, how would you say it? Sort of like the one ant, the scout ant, I don't know if that's the term, but we're just calling him ant.
It's fine, you're making stuff up.
Doesn't have to. Yeah, I'm making it up anyway, so I may as well just go. They call them bazing bong ants, right? So when the bazing bong ants, I'm making it up anyway. He doesn't have to go all the way back to base. He just needs to find another bazing bong ant, and he's like, "Man, you go." And then he goes back a bit further, and he tells another one, and he tells another one, and then he tells the next one. And apparently, the way they tell each other, because they don't speak. It's something to do with pheromones they release. They release the like McVitie's chocolate digestive pheromone from their heads, which is very distinct from the custard cream pheromone. They've got a whole fucking list. They've got a whole fucking list of different. But the other thing as well is, right, were the cookies you had, did you bring them cookies with you from the UK? Because maybe that's why it was the rapid response. They were like, imported cookies. Yeah. We can't get this here normally. Quickly. The Queen will be delighted. The Queen will be delighted.
They must have been like, oh, lovely jubbly. Yeah. But I do like that that movie. The movie, I do like A Bug's Life, and I do like the movie Ants.
Yeah, Ants. I really like Ants. Yeah. I really like Ants.
Yeah, it's a big one to fly. But yeah.
They were making off with like fucking English tea bags and like a key ring of like a red phone box and the Queen. They're like, oh, this is great. We'll bring this back. Like they've been on fucking holidays in your suitcase. Yeah, Dave. You should have David Attenborough navigate your old house and your holidays. You know.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, man, he's still alive. He's still alive and kicking. What a job, man. What a mad job that is. Just, I mean, does he do anything else? All he does is the voices for the documentaries, right? I mean, he's not. You don't also see him. I don't know, Formula One driving. I mean, I think that's it, right? That's his full.
Yeah, I don't. I'm just trying to think. I'm like, people only ever reference him to animal documentaries, like some sort of wildlife-y something or whatever. It's never been anything else.
He just found his niche, you know. He was just like, people are just like, because some people who do voiceovers, they might do voiceovers for different things as well, the new Land Cruiser 2000, or so adverts or something. But you never have David Attenborough, Persil non-bio liquid. It's always just animals.
Would you buy it? It would have to be like, if he did do that voiceover, that advert would have to be like, we can even get stains like animal blood out or some crap. It would have to be something down that line, or like, we can even get the stains that when you go to the zoo, like something around animals and stains, if it's to do with that, because
I thought you were going to say it would have to be good for the environment, but you were like, no, this gets out 9 out of 10 hyena blood stains. It washes them right out. That's great. That's great.
Oh,
but I mean,
so
imagine,
bad, but yeah,
it's it's just such a specific job. You know what I mean? Like, because if you watch a BBC documentary, and I don't really watch many of them. I used to really be into nature documentaries. I guess I just don't. It's because it used to be on TV, whereas now I don't really watch TV, and it's like Netflix and all that shit. And I feel like I know that he has one thing on Netflix, but not as.
But you wouldn't seek it out because it's not an interest of yours. Like
100. That's it. Like, when I watch them, I find them really, really interesting. But I guess I just don't seek them out. Like, yeah, exactly. Plus, you're like, fucking, how many more documentaries? There's one documentary that's meant to be that I want to watch. Someone was talking about. It's about these. I think it's their baboons in India. They're like the sort of light grey ones with the pinky kind of faces, these lads. They're not the huge guys, the sort of medium-sized ones. And they like live in this garbage, this dump. And basically their whole, whatever you want to call it, civilization changes. They start off being like really aggressive, but then this like dump opens up, and then they can get as much food as they want. And they don't really need to be aggressive anymore. And then they become really like peaceful and peace loving over several generations, because they're like, there's plenty to go around, lads. We don't have to rape and kill and murder anymore. This is great. And then the dump closes, which is better for the Indian people who were living there. They were like, yeah, whatever it is. And then like within like a generation, they just go back to murdering the fuck out of each other. Like, they didn't learn anything. They were just like, fuck you, the dump's over now. And then the documentary is just about their like, they're like the rise and fall on this like baboon community. Sounds cool.
Baboons and monkeys and all that, they're savage in the sense of like, I watched I think it was like a TikTok or something I saw on Instagram, and this woman, she sits down and she's like, cups her hand like she's got something in it.
Right.
She's got nothing in there. So the monkey comes up, looks in her hand and goes like that, and there's nothing in there, and then goes, slaps her and runs off.
Yeah.
I was like,
good for you,
these monkeys are fucking savage.
Dude,
like, they don't give a fuck, and they're just like,
they're not cute.
It dragged the it was on a bike, and it ended up dragging the child.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
What the fuck was that?
That video is crazy, man. And it's like the guy is filming it. He's like, as a monkey, firstly it's on a bike, like, and the guy's looking at it, and he's like, the guy's laughing, and then the monkey grabs the baby, and the guy's just like, oh shit!
Yes.
Like, his reaction, he just goes from thinking it's the funniest thing ever. Like, because that's it, they're planning to like fucking eat the baby, but they are like, no, man, this whole like a fucking Kuna Matata, like, animals are in nature with us. No, man, they're like, they are waiting, like, they're just like, as soon as you fuckers slip up, we're here, we're waiting for you to slip. Did you see the video in some part of Thailand, I think in some touristy area in Thailand, where they normally have loads of tourists, and actually what people didn't really think about is the tourists actually feed these fucking baboons, I think they're baboons again, all the time. and now there's no tourists, and it's just
yes, they're hungry now, innit? They're like savages, starving.
But it's like, look up the video. It's like it's not like one or two. There's like 50 baboons, and they're all just coming into town, being like, "We're sick of this. We're not putting up with this anymore." And just like, and then you see like one of them falls down and the other one just thinks that he's got something. They're all like, "Oh man." I mean, you feel sorry for them because I guess they're starving or whatever. But like, they're no joke, man. They're not like.
It kind of shows that because of humans, they're not used to actually going out and seeking food for themselves.
Sure, man. They're getting.
So now they're reliant on humans to feed them, and now that they haven't gone back to like their primal instincts of, okay, well, we need to feed ourselves, or let's go and figure it out. They're like, no, we're gonna wait. Someone's gonna come at some point. Someone's gonna drop something, and then like we're all gonna have to try and get like this one piece of bread. Like, we're not gonna think to climb a tree and get some fruit. No.
But like, think about it. Like, they're not going back to the wilds. They're like, hang on, now people are in the city. Let's go into the city. Like, so they're like, fucking hailing, getting Ubers and shit. Fucking take us downtown.
I think is it the same as like pigeons as well?
Out of control.
Like the amount of pigeons that probably died or lost weight because of lockdown.
It's true, yeah.
There's no, because they would eat people's discarded chicken bones or whatever out of the bin.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's not happening. So I wonder what happened.
All the
Flying
fucking
rats.
You know, the news is all nature is recovering and all this stuff. That's the countryside animals are loving this now. The like city animals are like, this is some bullshit, man. We moved here because people just throw their food in the street. Now we're starving to death.
I saw a fox yesterday and it was so thin.
Oh man,
I was like,
sad,
it's like, wow, what the hell happened? And I was like, that's what happened. Mum's like, he needs to go to the bins, mate, because he needs food. Like, he was so thin.
It's crazy.
I was like, whoa, this is what quarantine's done to the foxes, man. Times are rough.
Fucking the foxes and baboons protesting. You know?
They're probably queuing at the bins. We queue for the supermarket. They're queuing at the fucking bins, mate, taking their turns. Like,
back
2
meters behind me. Arr!
Yeah,
He's like, and you wake up late. Oh shit, they're gonna be all out of fucking rotten lettuce and chicken leg scraps by the time I get there. I'll just have to fucking settle for a bunch of stale bread.